Is that a goat? Good afternoon, everybody. We have a story today about farm animals in New Jersey. And I guess that wouldn't be so bad, except for the farm animals are in an apartment. And then there's some dead ones. Might be some rituals going on. So I thought that was kind of fascinating. I got this article from one of my friends, Tim. So thank you very much. And if you guys see anything out there, neighbors, bad real estate deals, bad real estate agents, landlord-tenant disputes, we could argue this is a landlord-tenant dispute. Send it to me. Media at DeerwoodRealtySTL.com. You can tell me about it. 314-274-3964. Leave me a voicemail. I'd really like to do crowdsourced content more than anything else. I think what people bring forward is more interesting than anything I could come up with. So please go ahead and do that. We're going to get into the article. It is right here. And the headline says, Doctor accused of sacrificing animals in his apartment for sanitary witchcraft. After a tip-off from a neighbor, investigators found at least 22 farm animals in Emilio Otero's 3-bedroom apartment in New Jersey, including goats, chickens, and a dead pigeon. So that's what we have. That's what we're going with. And so I just want to read through the article because I just think it's fantastic. A doctor has been accused of sacrificing livestock for sanitary witchcraft in his flat after investigators discovered 22 farm animals being kept in his New Jersey home on Thursday. So even the first article or the first paragraph is kind of interesting. A doctor, witchcraft, and 22 farm animals in his New Jersey home on Thursday. When authorities arrived at Emilio Otero's property on Van Horn Street, they were met with 7 to 9 goats, several chickens, and even a dead pigeon nailed above a door. The investigators from the Division of Environmental Health for Jersey City visited the apartment after a tip-off from Emilio's neighbors. And because this is the Daily Mail, which I'll link I will link the article in the description below. They spell neighbors with the O-U-R-S, which is kind of funny. Animal service agents were called to the flat, and they removed at least 22 farm animals that had been kept in the 3-bedroom property. So here's one of the animals. It appears to be a goat. So then the apartment's owner says that the doctor hasn't paid rent on the flat since May, and that she believes he is sacrificing animals and causing damage to her property. I wonder what would give her that impression. A fellow from the Division of Environmental Health for Jersey City stated there were about 4 or 5 dead chicken carcasses, their throats slashed, and they were left in a pile. So then it goes into the religion, Santeria faith. It says the animal is sacrificed to be used as food rather than for a particular spiritual purpose, though some believers offer sacrifices to build their relationship with the faith's deities. So the argument here is that this is food, and therefore it's okay. There's some pictures of the backyard. And then it says the doctor has denied sacrificing the animals, instead says he kills them legally for food. Well, okay. The Division of Environmental Health disagreed and said that Amelia's actions are very much illegal. Jersey City has an ordinance that prohibits residents from keeping farm animals, livestock, in the city limits. So the owner, who has tried to get the doctor evicted, has, this is the quote: "I come from humble beginnings. I serve this country. I purchased this house. I live on the same block, and I wanted to get an investment property, and this is what this has turned into." And finally, it says that the doctor has not been arrested and is not facing any charges, as Jersey police are still investigating the matter. So, I have some thoughts. I have some questions. Man. So the first one would be, where is the line on keeping goats in your apartment? Is that ever going to work? Like, you're ever going to be allowed to keep a goat in your apartment? And then if you're allowed to keep one, how many? 5? 2? What's the number? And then in the article it says there's an ordinance against keeping farm animals in your apartment. Well, is the goat a farm animal? Are the chickens farm animals? Is the pigeon a farm animal? It's just kind of hard to figure. Like, I mean, I'm glad in this case there's an ordinance against it. So, but at the same time, I mean, it seems bad. It just seems like a bad idea. The doctor says he's killing animals for food, but then my thinking is, if you're leaving dead chickens around and having a pigeon nailed to the door, that makes that argument somewhat suspect to me. And if he is keeping them for food, like, shouldn't he refrigerate them or something? Then it says the neighbor tipped off the Division of Environmental Health, and I'd really like to know how that went. Like, so what? How do you do that? You call and say, yeah, I got a neighbor, and I think he's got. Well, I know he's got goats in his apartment. He might be sacrificing animals. Can you please do something? And then let's assume this was cultural. Let's assume this was this person's religion. My complaint or my confusion would be, it's the wrong venue. Or, you know, if you want to kill farm animals for food, go to a rural area, not a 3-bedroom apartment in Jersey City. And maybe I'm overthinking it, but I just don't understand why you needed to do this in this particular area. And so then it says in the article, the tenant, who's a doctor, although he's got no PhD or anything behind his name, has been behind rent since May. And I was wondering if he's clearly saving money for more farm animals. But what in the world? They have this moratorium on evictions, and I'm wondering, is this a reason why he hasn't been evicted? And then I'm pretty sure in your lease it says, you're not allowed to sacrifice farm animals. Probably not written specifically that way, but it's probably something along the lines like you agree to, live within the municipality rules and regulations and ordinances. Finally, it says the doctor has not been charged or has not been arrested and is not facing any charges. And so think about that. You can literally have dead chickens, a dead pigeon nailed to the door, and 7 to 9 goats in your rented apartment that you have not paid rent on since May and not get arrested or charged for anything. And my question to you is, does that make you want to be a landlord? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. In my property management days, we had a woman that had a problem with raccoons. And we said, okay, we'll send the exterminator out. And she said, well, is it a humane exterminator? I said, what? Yeah, is it humane? Are you going to take the animal and take it somewhere? You're not going to just kill the animal, the raccoon. There's nothing in the lease that says you have to. I mean, there's nothing in the lease that says you have to kill an animal humanely or get rid of a pest. Most tenants would be happy that you got rid of the thing at all. And here we are on this humane thing. And I wonder what that tenant would think about this story with this doctor. I mean, slashing the throats of chickens and leaving their carcasses in your apartment. It's such a mess. It's such a mess. So, as a real estate agent, how would I list the house for sale? Well, here's how I know how you would do it as a real estate agent. Here's how I know the marketing goes. It's like, do you have problems with your tenants? Call me and I will sell your house for you so you don't have to deal with tenants anymore. But as an agent, you still got to deal with the fact that there were these. I mean, it's got to smell. Smells turn people off so fast. And I mean, the stuff you can get away with when you're renting as a tenant an apartment is pretty amazing. So, anyway, I don't know, leave me some comments. Thumbs up if you liked the video, or you didn't. That's fine too. I'm curious. I'm just fascinated by stories like this. I don't think it was ever going to stop either. A lot of them do have to do with animals. I don't know why, but anyway, that's what I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you on the next one.